What's going on, guys? Jesse Martin here. And I was just having a really good conversation with a client the other day. And she is someone who is a consultant, okay? She's starting this new business. And she was telling me how she's been having these great conversations with great potential clients, people she can help, people who want her service, people who need her service. But the problem is she keeps hearing people say, these great potential clients say, it's too expensive. It's too expensive. It's too expensive. Or I can't afford it. Or I need to talk to my accountant. Or I need to think on it. I need to pray about it. I need to sleep on it. I need to wait. Okay? Now, what these are the dreaded word and the dreaded thing in sales. These are what's known as objections, right? Now, if you've ever done sales, you know what this is like, and it's so frustrating to hear objections in sales because you want to help this person, you know you can help this person, but for whatever reason, they give you these dreaded objections. What I'm going to share with you in this video is 3 authentic persuasion techniques to help people overcome their fears and objections in sales. Okay? Now, why do you need to overcome objections? Because the most important thing in sales is actually getting a commitment, getting them to sign a contract, getting the payment finalized, getting an actual enrollment, which means them saying, yes, I need this, yes, let's do it, and actually committing in some way to working with you, to hiring you, to buying from you, okay? Because anything other than that is just them giving you lip service, just like, oh yeah, it sounds good, or maybe they don't want to hurt your feelings, okay? So if you don't know how to overcome objections, now I'm going to talk about it in a very specific way, but if you don't know how to overcome objections, what happens is people give into their fears. These great potential clients that you know you could help will say, I got to think about it. I got to wait. And you end up not being able to help this person. Okay? Now, if you don't learn how to fix this, if you don't learn how to overcome the objections, help people pass their fears, for one, you're going to miss a lot of sales, right? That's really obvious. 2, and this is really important, is people are going to stay stuck. You know, if they came to you for a reason, they need your help. They need your service. They need to get out of the problem that you help solve. They need help buying a house. They need help growing their business. They need help in marketing. If people need help in these things and you know you can help them and they came to you for help and then they have these objections, which are really just fears that come up, it's actually your job and it's in best interest for both of you, if you know you can help them, to help them pass these fears. But you got to do it in a specific way. Okay? Now, if you don't learn how to help people pass their fears and objections, what's going to happen is people will end up staying stuck. They'll end up staying in the situation that they're already in, not buying the house, not growing their business, not getting more clients, not making more sales, whatever it is that you help them do. And they're going to end up going and maybe working with someone else who can't serve them as well. They'll end up staying in the same problem, or they'll end up going with someone else that can help them, but not as good as you. And then maybe they'll have a bad experience and actually be even worse off than they were before. So it's actually a win-win to help people overcome their objections and get past their fears that come up when they need you and they came to you for help, okay? So here's the 3 authentic persuasion techniques. Number 1, ask more questions. Now, this doesn't mean just ask any random questions. This means asking very specific questions, okay? Because if you're going to help someone overcome their fears and help them do what's in their own best interest and get the problem solved, like say you're a health coach and the person came to you to lose weight and they need the help and they haven't been able to do it on their own, but then they say, oh, I don't know if I should do this. Let me think about it. Let me wait. Let me ask my accountant, ask my husband, sleep on it, all those objections. Okay, you need to know how to ask the right questions that's going to get them to see the value in what you're doing, and more importantly, see the value in taking action now. So you need to ask very targeted questions. And that leads me to point number 2. You need to ask, what is your specific goal and what happens if you reach this goal? What's it going to really do for you? And you want to listen for emotional words. So you want to ask targeted questions and you want to listen for the answers beyond just the surface level answers. You want to ask them, what is your goal and what is the problem now? Now, once you understand what these 2 things are, what are you trying to achieve and what's the problem now? Where are you stuck right now or not having this problem solved? How is that, what kind of problems is that creating in your life? Now, when you start to get answers, when you ask those questions, you're going to have two things. You're going to have what they want, and you're going to have where are they stuck now. Now, if you look at these two things, what you actually have is two sides of, you could think of it like a river. If there's a river down the middle, there's what they want, and there's where they are now, what the situation is, what the problem is. Now, by asking targeted questions of what is not working, that would be on this side. If you ask what is not working and where do you want to go, what are you trying to achieve, what kind of house do you want, how much weight do you want to lose, how much do you want to grow your business, how much income do you want to grow by, you get all these targeted goal-oriented questions, the future, okay, it's called future pacing. Paint a picture with them. What would that do for you? How is that going to affect you? Get emotional words, because the better they can envision that future of having the problem solved or having your service by, finding their dream house or growing their business or getting more sales or losing weight or whatever it is, the more you can help them paint a picture on this side, the more they're going to mentally and emotionally associate into that. And when you do this, fewer objections will come up. But now that's only part of the picture, because you also have to, number two, you have to get really clear on the consequences of not taking action. The consequences of not taking action. I'm saying it twice because it's so important. You have to ask them very specific questions of, hey, what happens if you don't fix this? What happens if you don't get the help to lose weight? What happens if you don't get the marketing to get the sales that you need, to get the clients that you need? Now notice what I'm doing here. When you do these questions, you're painting a picture of the future, the goal, the vision of what's going to happen by getting the help, hiring you, working with you. And on this side, what's going to happen if you don't take action? Because us as humans, we're only motivated by emotion, and ultimately we make all buying decisions through emotion. So when you paint this picture of the future vision and the consequences of not taking action, consequences of staying where you're at, most objections will go away entirely. Now notice what I'm doing here. This is actually not about overcoming objections once they come up. Now, the best way to handle objections is to not actually have them ever come up in the first place. And when you paint a picture with them of their future vision, what's going to really do for them, help them envision it, and more importantly, emotionally get into that future scenario that they really want, and have the negative side very clear. What are the consequences of not taking action? The consequences of waiting, the consequences of keep doing what you've been doing. When you do this, very few objections come up. Okay, now when they know the consequences of staying stuck, of staying where they're at and keep doing what they've been doing, what this does is creates almost like a gap, like a river. It creates almost like a canyon in their mind. Now, here's the challenge, is in their mind, they're like, oh crap, well, that's where I want to be, and here's where I'm stuck. I feel like this is a big challenge to overcome now. Now, it's very natural at this point to naturally just say, and this is point number 3, okay, well, how long do you want to wait? How long do you want to wait staying stuck on this side? And just let them answer. Pause. How long do you want to wait before you fix this? How long do you want to wait before you get help to lose weight? How long do you want to wait before you get your marketing handled? How long do you want to wait before you buy a house or you list your house? How long do you want to wait, right? Notice what I'm doing here is presupposing that they want to fix this because they just told you, here's what I want, here's where I am, here's where I'm stuck, and here's the consequences if I don't fix this and if I don't change. Now, you're asking them, well, how long do you want to wait before you cross that gap? Do you want to wait? What they're going to say is, well, I don't want to wait. Now, maybe 1 in 10 or 1 in 50 might be like, oh, well, it's not that bad. It's okay. I can wait. I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. And if that happens, well, you could go back and, go back to those previous questions and help paint a more vivid future and find more consequences for staying where they're at. And just have a really open, honest conversation with them, be really authentic from the heart. And maybe they'll say, okay, well, I get it now, let's move forward. Or they may say, you know what, it's not that big a deal. It's not that big of a problem. If that's the case, that's okay. And that person's probably not your ideal client because they're not ready to take action anyway. And you don't have to worry about pushing. You don't have to worry about being salesy or about overcoming objections and closing hard. When you do this the right way, objections 90% of the time won't even come up, and they will naturally sell themselves to you because they are saying, here's what I need, here's the consequence of staying stuck, and I don't want to wait to get this problem handled. So guys, I hope this has been really helpful. And just remember, you don't have to close people, you don't have to push, you don't have to sell. When you ask right questions, when you paint a picture of the vivid future and really help them paint a picture of the consequences of staying stuck, people will naturally want to work with you, they will sell themselves, and you don't have to do any of those old, outdated sales tactics. And you can come from the heart, truly help them, and create a business, create a sale, create a transaction, and more importantly, create a relationship with a customer that's a win-win. Now, if you think this could help, please share this with someone who needs to hear it, someone who sells a product, who sells a service. You know, the way the world buys is changing, so we need a more evolved way of selling. And this is one of the most important, most key things that you can do for your business to have a long-term, authentic, heart-centered business. Thanks a lot, guys. Like and subscribe if this has been helpful. Talk to you very soon.